Hi, everybody. My name is Katie, and I am with BlueNotary, and I'm also a commissioned rural online notary in the state of Florida who owns her own company of Notary SWFL. And I have Chris Calkins in front of me. He is the owner of Digisist and also a commissioned rural online notary in the state of Florida. So, Chris, welcome to the channel.
Thanks so much, Katie. It really is an honor to be on the Blue Notary YouTube channel, show, whatever you want to call it, discussing our hot topics as we had discussed previously to this.
Yes.
My company, Digisist, is all about leveraging technology to streamline processes or processes. I'm really not sure how to say it. And provide top-notch services to our clients, including online notarizations.
Yes.
What I do want to dive into today with you, if we can not giggle our way through it, because you and I have way too much fun together, is to share some valuable tips that everyone can apply to their businesses, whether it's taking one piece from our conversation and applying it there. That's how I learned so many things. And I love, like I said, if you get one thing, I think it's so important.
Yes. Yeah, because it's definitely a learning process just in general, but especially if you go from a 9 to 5 to owning your own business, the learning curve is absolutely ridiculous, like way more than what I had ever thought of. And I remember having conversations, you and I, that I thought that it was valuable that we introduced it to everybody. All right, perfect. So what I want to do is jump into some of the things that Digisist would help small businesses for, what I think is some, or what you think is some important things. What we think is important things for notaries to know that might not be addressed in some of the resources that are out there, or just get it in front of everybody to start thinking about. Let's jump right into it. What do you think is important for notaries to know that something that Digisist does?
Okay, Katie, you just threw a lot at me. I just want to say, let's get this show started because Katie and I have way too much fun. So if you don't know us, you do now. Do you want to introduce the first topic?
Sure. Okay, so we wanted to talk about how the shift of remote online notarization is taking the real estate world by storm, as far as like the trend that you see from traditional in-person to remote online notarization, like what you think about that.
Okay, yeah. Ron, as we like to call it, dirty little Ron. It really has been a game changer for the real estate market. So what is scary, though, is that the dinosaurs of the industry are just so obsessed. Oh, that's true. Don't make the face. The dinosaurs of the industry are scared, and they're justifiably scared.
See, okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I don't think.
No, clap back. Go ahead.
All right, I will. I am. So, yes, maybe back in the early days of remote online notarization when everything was happening, but the people that are scared think of it as, I'm just calling you over the phone. I ask you, are you signing this? And then I stamp it. That is not how any of that works anymore.
Like ever, right? Ever.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
I have heard stories, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to.
Yeah. No rabbit holes.
No, but that is not the case at all anymore. And I would argue, even if I wasn't a remote online notary, that it is more secure to do things remotely than it is for in person or traditionally. And I mean that for every single notarization.
Right.
One, let's dial it down though, because if you have a will and it is being contested and you want to do something that is saying, if you have a beneficiary that says that the person that was doing the notarization was not in the correct capacity to be able to execute that will, you have a recorded video of the notary going through the questions, and there.
Now, I have to just, the questions, can you just, for those that don't know?
Yes. to be able to do the notarization, there's certain parts that happen during each notarization to make it legal. So each state can be a little bit different, but it is pretty much the same thing where you have to make sure that they understand the contents of the document, that they're doing this of their own free will. So there's a series of questions that make it so that, one, the notary can be comfortable that the person in front of them knows what they're signing, they're in their right mind, basically.
I make them turn the camera around in the whole room. I want to see the whole.
Yeah. Well,
I really do. I'm not even joking.
Yeah. No,
I want to see the whole room.
Yeah, and that's perfectly within your role.
Otherwise, I am terminating.
Exactly. Yeah, and also in the state of Florida, there's a series of extra questions that you have to ask depending on the type of documentation that you have. So
I didn't know that. What is that?
Yeah. So if you're doing a will, if you're doing, I think it's pretty much any estate planning documentation, you have to ask a series of extra questions.
Can we put that maybe in the comment section?
We can, yeah, because
I'll copy and pasted from the governor's manual. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's I believe it's 3 extra sets of questions. So there are things like if you need help with everyday care, and then a couple other things. There's things that can invalidate a will,
I'm sure, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So we'll link that down because I know that there is a lot of Florida notaries that probably
we learn something new every day.
We learn something new every day. Yeah.
I'm really thankful that you just brought that up because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I really am thankful that you just brought that up.
Yes.
No, in fact, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
But on the real estate front, going back to that dinosaur comment, because you and I love to go off on these.
I know. Tangent.
We do it so well, though, right? But no, but with the real estate front, I do see, example, like I was on the phone with my state senator from Connecticut that I actually worked with over and over and over again on all our campaigns and stuff like that. And she's actually herself in Connecticut.
Oh, cool.
So I'm like, hello, Heather, can we please get Ron up and, because I was going to introduce her to you, or I will introduce her to you, because I want her to have BlueNotary kind of be the one that they show the legislature as the example. You know what I mean? And I said, mimic Florida law, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, it's also an attorney state. So I said, maybe we could also change the language of that law.
Yeah.
We implement Ron to have an either or type of thing. I don't know how that works, but she goes, half of them are lawyers, so I'm not sure how that's going to go over. But at the same time, what I love about her is she's willing to try.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing that I see from what I've watched in your previous videos that you say. And that was the Ronnie fellow, Ronnie Ron.
Yeah.
When he said, if you're not going to ask for that transition or ask for the Ron, when I saw that part, I go,
yeah,
wow, that was such like it's so simple and it's right there, but they're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think so. Yes, the platforms and the different title companies, like we're all working towards making things easier for both the clients and for the vendors. But at the same time, like the notaries themselves have the capacity and have the wherewithal. Like you can also approach your Secretary of State or the people that are decision makers and letting them know that
might have there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You would like them to have that be available in your state. I know that there are some different notaries that are doing advocation boards of they want to get biometrics into their state because it is so helpful for us.
It really is.
In general, like they don't really have access to...
I failed my KBA, Katie, twice.
Yeah, it can be...
My own KBA. I failed it twice.
Yeah. But it cuts off those notaries from a certain demographic that they would otherwise have access to, that just from my own standpoint, I think they should have access to it. So I advocate for advocating for yourself to be able to have that available. And then same for states that don't even allow remote online notarization at all.
Connecticut, Massachusetts, the two pain in the ass states, part of my fridge. But really though, and I'm sorry, you can bleep that out all you want, but it really is a pain in the ass because there's absolutely no reason that they shouldn't have it in. They've had bills passed on the floor out to vote and they can wash it. And Connecticut had one in, and it's my home state, so I have a little bit of a love there.
Yeah.
But it just drives me crazy because people are just so stubborn. And I want to segue this into, like you said, the added level of security that you get with ROM.
100%. Yeah. So did you want me to explain like how I explain it, or did you want to explain how it adds the extra level of security?
Do you want the Chris version?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my synopsis. Break it down simple, make it really easy.
Yeah.
You go to an in-person signing. The person is a notary. I'm sure they're great. La-di-da. They're looking at your ID.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that's a real ID or not?
Yeah.
We're off of our best judgment. We're doing the best we can. I feel so much safer knowing that utilizing the technology that we have at our fingertips, whether it is biometrics or whether it is those KBA questions to further enhance my comfort level when I'm stamping my seal.
Yeah.
Like, it's a no-brainer to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's, to me, I'm like, I'm not like, get rid of it. I don't even need it anymore. I'm not going to use it unless I absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it just adds that extra layer of security for the notary and then basically all of the parties involved. It would be very hard, I believe, to contest the validity of a remote online notarization. Now, knock on wood, but I believe that would be harder than in person because there's just so many checks. It would be...
You're spot on. Embracing technology,
Mm-hmm.
offering it, we have to ask.
Yeah.
And demonstrating it, maybe with a Katie video, just to show them, hey, look, like you said in your other one that I was just watching with Ronnie again.
Uh-huh.
You didn't know. You just didn't know because you didn't ask when you were talking to your brother there.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I just didn't know because I didn't ask.
Yeah.
Right?
And at that time, I was doing it, like I was the notary relations, I still am, but I was the notary relations director, and he was still like, did you ask them if they could do remote online? Because
it's also a fear thing too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the reason why BlueNotary is here is because the founder saw a need and then basically started working towards filling that need. And then it just took off from there. So a different topic that I wanted to bring up.
Is it my favorite?
It is your favorite, the construction documents. Now, you are a whiz at not only...
You can say it. I'm a psycho.
No. You're a master at taking something that is a little bit complicated and streamlining it to something simpler. When I was talking to you about what you had done, it's the same thing as what I was just talking about. You saw a need. You saw that it was a little bit more difficult than what it could have been. And then you basically orchestrated a really good solution. So if I could have you highlight or talk about that a little bit.
I have to give you a kudos back because, again, that's another thing that actually gave me a bit more insight into how your brain works, to be honest. Because when I was watching you try and dive into these different niches to help the community, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really neat that I'm like, so refreshing. Because you think outside the box, but you are also showing people how you're doing it. And a lot of people want to hoard that to themselves. And I'm like, God, there's enough pie to go around, everyone.
Exactly.
Everybody can eat. Stop being greedy. Come on.
Yeah.
But with respect to construction documents, so just to preface this, my father's an electrician. I organized his office from when I was
15.
Yeah, that was when the QuickBooks came in. But it was like 12, 13, and then the QuickBooks came in, and I was like, and he used that same system that I set him up with up until probably about 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped back in and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I started my bookkeeping business in 2014, Poppy.
Yeah.
Me again, and I'm like, oh my God, you're still using my system from that long ago? It was,
That's just a testament to you that you made a good system if he's been using it for that long.
but that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, everything we do, whether it's checking our emails or scheduling a client or whatever the case may be, every single thing can be broken down into micro steps.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where you find the efficiencies.
Yes.
So what I saw specifically was that construction is so heavily documented. I have a little pet project that I'm trying to do with payment applications that I'm trying to see how I could make that somehow be a little bit more automated. But for now, it's the notice of commencement process. Florida, any project that's valued over $2,500, this is just facts from the internet, not me preaching. So you can put the disclaimer at the bottom, please.
Yes.
You know I have to say it.
I know. Oh, also, we're not lawyers.
Oh, yeah, we're not lawyers. So
follow your state guidelines.
Yeah, follow your state guidelines and leave us alone. Anyway, but the notice of commencement form, it's very important. It's really important. And it's also important that your homeowner actually knows why they're signing it.
Yes.
It has to do with the lien laws of Florida. Now, if you don't, I'm not about to explain the lien laws of Florida, but they are very specific. They're very detailed and they're fantastic because they lay it all out there. And I have added a significant stream of income because of this one form, because of this one form that I made into a process. So before, it used to be Bob the sales guy would go to his client's house and he would be selling this project and he would hopefully get the form signed by them. Maybe it was notarized there, maybe it wasn't. I've heard horror stories.
I know.
When I did my fence in my backyard, I wrote my signature on a paper and I scanned it in, and then suddenly it was notarized and e-recorded. That's not legal.
No.
It's not legal.
No.
So I said, how do I do this legally?
Yeah.
Like literally. And I go, how do I make money from it? And how do I do it legally? So it used to take them about 2 to 3 weeks. I now have it set up with my fantastic programmer, Dilip, and he's in India. I call him my Indian ninja, and I love him. I actually just talked to him a couple times today.
Yeah.
But he developed an API process where I have my Calendly set up for the appointment. They pick their date and time. And then the second they leave Calendly, it brings them over to a jot form.
Okay.
Now I have one template for all of Florida that meets all the state statutes, which I'm happy to share. No, really, I am. Like we all can eat. And the jot form fills out based on their inputs. So they are filling out.
I see where you're going.
So they're filling out the instrument. Example, Palm Beach County, just to give a caveat. Palm Beach County requires at the very tippity top that it says this instrument prepared by.
Yeah.
I'm filling out the form. They are. So legally, they are filling out the form. So this instrument was prepared, but the instrument's the document, in case you don't know. So it's solving so many problems. Even better, but wait, there's more. It actually takes them, once you finish the form, which of course I have like instructions on each step just to make sure that everybody's comfortable.
Yeah.
But the next step would be it going into the platform that I am currently using, which I'm trying to migrate over to BlueNotary in development. But right now it goes into the platform that I'm using and actually pulls in the Calendly date and time.
Yeah.
It pulls in the customer name and phone number and email. And it invites them to the session. So guess who just has to show their pretty little face, ensure that they're being compliant, validate their identifications, stamp. But wait, Katie,
there's one. What?
E-recording. So then I take an extra step and I e-record it to the county land records. done. Usually Hillsborough is my favorite. So if you're watching Hillsborough County Clerk, I love you, or all of news. As long as I get in before 3, it's like in an hour. I'm like, I love you guys.
Yeah.
But there's some that take 2 or 3 days. I've had one up to a week, but once it's done, I upload it back to the contractor's Google Drive.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it goes. That's the process. But that was a 4 week process before.
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to hit on that because I know that I think that this is going to be a very popular episode because it's going to help the construction people, it's going to help the homeowners, and then it's going to help people that are doing the permit pulling because it's going to cut down on time. Because I know that there's people that do this that do not automate it the way that you do.
Delip automated it.
Yes.
The idea, Delip put it to action.
Yes.
So,
yes, but that's one of the things that I love about our industry is that we see needs and then we fill them. We're very much
entrepreneurial
spirited. Yes. Because I think that our career lends itself to people that don't basically wait around for other people to make the system better. They see it and they're like, okay, I'm going to fix this, or I'm going to make this if nobody else is going to. And then
how many times you and I message each other a question and then within 5 seconds we're already answering our own question?
Yes.
And that's literally why I was just like, oh, I love you. You have to be that type of person. If you're not, you're in the wrong. Don't be a notary. Honestly, give up, go away, pack it up, bye. Because if you're
very
Oliver, get out.
You do have to be very driven in this industry, I believe. Like, to be able to be successful,
you have to be driven. Yeah,
you have to be driven. There's nobody it's really nice because you're autonomous. There's nobody telling you what to do, but at the same time, unless you tell yourself and then you do it, you don't get anything done. There's nobody stopping you from not doing anything all day. So
yeah, you're own boss. And it's funny because even this whole like workflow thing, I remember just talking with someone the other day, and we were just spitballing ideas, because that's another thing I love about this community is that everyone's always willing to chit chat. And they were talking about the tattoo consent form. I've actually never done, but they were like, why don't we do a tattoo consent form? That would be super easy.
Yeah,
we make a link for the thing, we market it to the boom. Hello. And
I mean, honestly,
just because your state fee is $10 or whatever it is, check your laws.
Check your laws.
But there's a technology fee. You're paying for the hosting. There's a processing fee.
Mm-hmm.
There's an e-recording fee. Whatever the case may be, there are other fees. So my NOCs, I charge $100 a pop.
Yeah.
And that includes the e-recording.
Yeah. But at the same time, you have to think about the value that you're adding to that company.
Flip it weeks.
Exactly. And that's someone's roof that's dripping down into their house. So I would pay $100 so that it doesn't take 3 or 4 weeks.
It's so fun when I have duplicate clients too, because they're like, oh, it's just the first time everyone's a little scared. And it's just Chris. Don't worry about it. And it's so nice because now they feel safe and secure because they know
that it's going to get taken care of. Yeah. And
I explain it. You explain it. I love giving them that knowledge.
Yeah, 100%. And that is one of the hard things to introduce to people that are in construction or like the construction industry, because sometimes they're very like, we have always done it this way. And it's, do you want to wait 3 weeks? Or I can send you over to Chris and he can get this done. How long does it usually take to get the actual notarization process, like from
that's notarized, recorded, back to the contract? 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah. And that's almost unheard of.
That's actually the trick with contractors.
The what?
The trick with contractors.
Yeah.
Because I would say about 85% of my bookkeeping clients at Digisist are specialty trades. I have one GC. The trick is going, are you kidding? And that's why I chose it, because I can use my foul mouth that I love to do. I swear like a trucker. Ask anyone that knows me. But I'm speaking their vernacular. I'm speaking what's comfortable to them. They're on the job site, sweating their tail off, trying to get whatever the heck they're doing built up or dumped down or whatever they're doing out there.
Yeah.
Over here being like, can I just get your dang paperwork done? And I know it's funny, but it's true. Like, don't give me slack. Let me do it.
Yeah.
You have a problem with it, then we can talk about it then. And I do that angry face, and it works every time.
I've had conversations because I go to those networking events for construction and everything. And I've had conversations with them, and they ask me what I do, and I tell them. And then they're like, the general contractor was driving out to the job site. And I'm like, one, that's a conflict of interest. Two, like notarizing documents or whatever. I don't know what.
The GC was.
The general contractor of the company was driving out to these job sites, out on Sanibel, out in Lehigh. He lives in, it didn't make sense. And he was like,
wait, was he notarizing his own pay apps?
We're not going to go there.
So he was notarizing his own pay apps.
So yeah,
they don't know though. They don't know.
That was another conversation that I had to have with. Yeah. I had to be like, wait, what you're doing is legal. Please stop doing that and just use me. Yeah. Those types of conversations with construction groups is very important, not only for you pitching to them, but then like saving their tail in case something ever happened.
As Katie said in her other video, which I thought was very delicate, you gonna go to jail. But it's true. No, I was starting cracking up when I saw you say that. You could go to jail. I'm like, oh my God. She's not wrong. She's not wrong, but it was just really cute the way you said it. Sorry. That's my little whatever. Leave me alone. But the moral of this story is, I know we blab on, but look at things that you're doing regularly.
Yes.
If you're seeing things that you're doing on a repetitive basis, and you have, say, a static document that you're regularly notarizing, whether it's a permission slip, whether it's that, I don't even want to go into that one, whether it's, you know what I'm talking about. Give me spitball some ideas, please.
Parental consent of a minor, you would have to have, parental consent of a minor, power of attorney, because those are very specific.
But those are things that they could
the law?
Yes, there you go. But they fill out the instrument based on set up a field. And I'm happy to provide DeLip's information. I'm sure he'd be pumped to have the business. Very affordable and brilliant. But if you have someone that you use, I'm sure you could use them as well. I just trust him. I mean, I would trust him with my social security number. That's how much I trust him. Really, I would.
Yeah.
But the key is find something that's repetitive, be replicated over and over again, and let's make it a process and then make it a product.
Yes.
Because the product you can sell.
Yeah.
Over and over. And then you get that credit card authorization form, and you don't even have to worry about it. You want to touch on
that in a different video.
I would actually like to do that.
Okay. Yeah. So stay tuned for more, because we have a lot of different topics that we very much want to talk about. Okay, so that is all the time that we have today for this topic, but feel free to stay tuned because we have a lot of different topics that we wanted to go over and introduce into the community. Chris, thank you so much for coming on to the channel. I really appreciate your time. And
having me, Katie. This may be the first, but it won't be the last.
No. Yes. No, this was very nice. I really appreciate you coming on and actually sharing everything, because that is really nice. This industry has been...
We all eat.
Yeah. Rising tide lifts all boats. Yep. And on that, I am going to go ahead and have a sign off.